what is Horizon Open? I was going to ask something then, but I think that's probably the best place to start, is actually what is Horizon Open?
So the Horizon Open is our new take on, I guess, traditional multiplayer. We've looked at the Tour, we've looked at Arcade. They are kind of fresh and new, different ways to play the game. The Horizon Open is the new version of what was called Team Adventure and Online Adventure in previous games. That change in name is to reference the fact that it's a little bit more accessible, a little bit more fun. Some of those some of those super high skilled elements have been removed. There's no longer the skill-based ranking system, which you could finish second in a race, which you might think was quite good, and then it would tell you no, that wasn't good enough, and minus 50 points off of you. Or indeed, you could be in a team race where you could come first. Some people on your team don't, and then again you get dragged down. People didn't like that, so it's now. It's a lot of that stripped away. It's intended to be much more accessible, much more fun. It still has a ton of challenges. It still rewards winning, but without a lot of the kind of punitive measures that existed.
Sure.
There are 4 flavors. You have open racing, open drifting, playground games, and the Eliminator Battle Royale. Drifting is very similar, in fact, to Drift Adventure that was added during the live program of Forza Horizon 4. Racing, self-explanatory. Playground games, similar to what you would have seen in Forza Horizon 4, although it was all focused on team games in Horizon 4. Team games can appear in there, but there's also solo games as well. So you have Solo King, a Solo Flag Rush, and Solo Infected. And of course, there is the Eliminator.
Return of the Eliminator as a launch feature as well, no less. Love it.
Exactly, yeah. So we added Eliminator to Horizon 4 around about Christmas of 2019. So a lot of people, if they'd played Horizon 4 when it first came out, may never have experienced it. But from when it was added, it became the most popular multiplayer mode in the game. And frankly, we really love it. So we're not going to play this one live, such as the orchestration required to do a demo of the Eliminator. So instead, we played it earlier on, captured it, and we've edited together some footage of we can roll the tape.
Perfecto. So you're going to have to give us a little tour as well. So where we are, what we're up to, we can sort of take cues from the game that this is perhaps right at the beginning of the Eliminator, because there's still a high quantity of cars left.
Very, very observant, Charlie. Yeah. So in our development environment, we've roped in all of the testers to get 50 people in the game. Obviously, it can have more players than that in the final release. One of the key things that's changed is that rather than everybody starting in the Mini, everybody has now started in the VW Beetle. So a car that is an icon of Mexican auto culture, and similarly performant to the Mini as well. So there we go. So it looks like. I have challenged Ryan, our lead game designer, to a race down the side of the volcano. Let's see how this plays out.
Looking forward to this. I do have to ask, though, we mentioned that the Eliminator was a sort of a later addition, a fun new thing that you added to Forza Horizon 4, and that was very much added to a map that already existed. So how much did that sort of change the way you worked on the Forza Horizon 5 map, knowing that you wanted to launch it day one? Did you make a map that was more Eliminator in mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, so as I said, between launching Eliminator and releasing Forza Horizon 5, this became our most popular multiplayer mode. And when that happens, that of course will then factor into the way that you build and design the world to create awesome moments within the Eliminator, much like the one we're seeing right now, where a VW Beetle's managing to reach near enough 100 miles an hour down the side of a volcano in a head-to-head race.
When you put it that way.
Magical moments like this. The really fun one is the opposite way, where the end point is in the top of the volcano, and you need to really make sure you've got yourself a car with a bit of torque to get back up there. Yeah, so talked about but there are a ton of world features. I think the city as well, Guanajuato, is one that really plays into Eliminator and really favours high-level play. You really do want to be an expert level map knowledge before you start like choosing Guanajuato as your spawn location, or even a place that you venture into, because you'll get eaten alive by high-skilled players there.
Yeah. Or trapped in a tunnel.
Exactly. Here's Anna in Guanajuato.
It does
Perfect
have a lot
segue.
of car drops though, so it's kind of like a risk-reward situation. You might choose to go
I
there.
see. Okay.
Yeah, so Anna does have cheat knowledge as well. Anna placed all of the car drops around the world, so... does have
So
that
Anna, I
insider
suppose
knowledge.
the question for you then really is as well as this location, are there any particular spots around the world that are really good for the Eliminator? Maybe for car drops, maybe for hiding, I don't know. When you define good spots.
Well, hâte is definitely good for hiding somewhere in the tunnel, but very dangerous. And the car drops, anything that looks like a point of interest, like any of the Baja circuit or the main festival, or the volcano as well, like anything like that will have a lot of car drops, but obviously all of it is random, so you might get unlucky. I personally start always at the Baja circuit, and usually there is at least like 3 there that you can choose from.
Oh, okay. Lovely. We saw one just then when we drove past. It was that bright purple light, was it?
Yes. Yeah, as is tradition in Eliminator, you see the really cool cars when you're in a race and unable to collect them.
Yep. Just like here when you're also stuck on a building, which is a fairly typical Eliminator performance from me anyway. Oh, look, here are the tunnels we were talking about. Yes,
so that particular game ended, I think, in defeat for Anna as she stacked it into that shed there. But yeah, now we're back in Guanajuato in the next game. So yes, it's me. This is where I challenged you.
That's cruel.
Yeah. That's some dirty tactics already.
You can guess how this one ends.
So I took the left there to go up to the surface. Anna stayed in the tunnel, so we kind of forked our paths here. We're both trying to get to the end point as quickly as we can.
I also think, was that one of the first looks we've had inside the tunnels as well? Unless I need to be corrected there. I can't remember if we've seen those before.
Great call. I think it probably is.
Might well have been.
Yeah, it might well be. It's also probably the first time we've seen the city at night, which allows us to see all the lovely lighting work that's been done here, all those little pools of light that build up underneath all the street lights.
It is, I mean, we may be second in this particular race, but we've got plenty of time to sightsee. I'm just all in on the drama. I just want to watch and see if we can win one. I'm not sure if this you can see on the map, but we've got a little distance behind here.
It's a little distance, and I think the editor may well step in to save us in a moment.
Yep. I do love using Link though to sort of say goodbye before you're kicked out. I'm a big fan of that.
It changes when you enter the Eliminator as well, so you have unique options based on the game mode you're playing. And also in the different stages you get different link options as well.
Oh, I like that.
So here we're in the swamps. I'm driving the Porsche Cayenne, which is, a big old SUV. I've just crashed into the tree, but that's not going to matter because because the clearance that this car has means that I can drive straight through the water here, through the swamp, whereas person driving the Mercedes AMG 1 knows that their car's too low. If they come through here, they're really going to feel a lot of drag going through the water, so they've had to stick to the roads, which gives the Porsche Cayenne, which is obviously a slower car than the Mercedes AMG 1, a chance. So let's see how this one plays.
A chance to steal a level 10 car as well.
Exactly, and then use it to
get away. It's not an opportunity you get much. It's going to be close.
There we go.
Very nice.
And now, pro tip, once you're in that AMG 1, get out of the swamp. It's useless here.
You get it. Very nice. That's the dream, that is. I think I've only had a level 10 car once, and I did go on to win the Eliminator in the level 10 car, but it was just pure chance that I got it.
Yeah, another thing you can do, which I would not recommend when you're in the AMG 1 inside Eliminator, is switch it from track mode to street mode. That's a thing you could do, but also you'll have to sit and wait for the animation to complete for about 15 seconds, by which point someone will challenge you and take off and beat you. So.
I'll tell you what, on tips for driving, particularly as we now look at this very final stage, I want to go to Andy. Andy, do you have any tips as our resident racer on what to do when it comes to the Eliminator?
Yes and no. I think you were talking about the right sort of things with the type of cars that you end up in and where you end up in the world as to what you end up doing. Like, for example, the player that we're watching here has got a Camaro, and there was a lot of cross-country action going with quite a road-based car, isn't it? So it's as Anna said earlier, it's risk-reward. You can end up going cross-country and just get that bump that you don't want, and end up careering towards some trees or on your roof as everyone sails past and gives you loads of loads of grief via link.
Yeah.
So.
On Forza Monthly earlier, we looked at how you can take a car like the Camaro and make it off-road ready, stick some off-road springs on there. These cars don't have that. This is just the, this is the Camaro as it comes from the factory.
What a perfect time for you to say that. But then this is what I mean, like you want to make sure you got the right car. Like I will more often than not make sure I try to get to the final circle with a car that's going to do way better off-road as I just go as the crow flies directly to the end point and just hope I don't get interrupted by any of the scenery. Very rarely am I on a road.
Yeah, but if you know that road knowledge, you know, the entire map like the back of your hand, then you could know that there are some routes that are faster by road. So it's there are definitely advantages to that as well. So rather than just going the straightest line possible.
And that is another thing as well. The Mexico map does have more kind of longer, straighter, high-speed asphalt roads than the Horizon 4 map did. So there are more places where actually sticking to the road is going to see you right.
Talking of long, straight bits of road, there was an airstrip there.
Oh yes, that was a little peek at the abandoned airstrip there, one of our cool new world features.
Very nice.
A very brief peek as we crossed it at speed. And there we go, it ends in defeat.
Well, we've been very honest. You can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. So there is our first non-eliminator win of the show. But, you know, maybe some more chances to win in the future.